Welcome to the Old Computer Museum, and this is a Commodore 64 game called Leaderboard. Leaderboard is a golf simulation game. I remember when I was young and I had my Commodore 64. My dad actually played so many golf with this game, and also this is one of those great games, when you have family or friends over, you challenge them in a computer golf game. It's a 1986 game. It's a sports simulation type game, so it's a golf game. And you can play with four players, as you can see here, and everybody takes its turn. And it's made by Access Software, is available for the Amiga, Amstrad CPC, the Atari 800XL XE, the Atari ST, Commodore 64, and the ZX Spectrum. And so this was one of the nice games, golf simulations for the Commodore 64. So it's quite easy to play and understand. That's also something that's nice. And so we'll enter here, Tech Guy. You have 3 levels of gameplay: novice, amateur, and professional. The difference lies in the wind and the way the golf course is actually made. So if you play professional, you'll see a little wind indicator saying that there's a lot of wind, so you got to compensate for that because it's the same courses actually. You can play, of course, 18, 36, 54, or 72 holes. I wouldn't imagine anyone have played ever 72 holes because it's never going to end. Graphics are interesting, they're nice, and that was one of the features that made it quite cool actually for the Commodore 64. So basically you had the wind showing up, you had your clubs that you changed, so one wood for example, or iron, or the pitching wedge, depending on what you had to do. The yards, 350 yards, and so you'd simply power by holding, and then you have to be as the snap portion of the indicator, you have to be the closest to the middle, where there are this little line that actually crosses the snap feature. And you had to remember to actually change your club, because it doesn't change on its own. A lot of golf games actually wanted you to would change that club automatically so that you'd have the best one. But on this one you have to do it yourself. And so interesting graphics, interesting game. Gameplay is quite easy and fun actually. So for the time, this was one of the good golf games that were actually made at the time. Of course, this is one of those very entertaining games if you're playing with friends or family, because basically playing alone would be probably more of a boring game. Playing golf alone, unless you're playing for real, it's not that much fun actually. So you continue on and do your 18 holes, and it's pretty nice. For the times, graphics were cool. The fact that it had these trees make you look a little more like being in the fall with yellow little yellow leaves there on the trees. Don't know why they didn't actually make the leaves green. Maybe because there was just too much green on the screen, and that would have made it a little more difficult to see the trees correctly. So they actually put the trees more of a yellowish color. But for the rest, you had the brown, which kind of represents the ground. The yellow would represent the sand, and the green would represent your golf course green and fairway, which is kind of pretty much logical because of the 16 colors of the Commodore 64. You didn't have much choices, and also the fact that you had a maximum of colors mixed in together. So Leaderboard by Access Software for the Commodore 64. I give it a score of 8 out of 10. It was nice, very nice for the time, and it's actually, even now, not that bad of a game actually, and it's still playable. Although with, you know, today's PCs and games like Jack Nicklaus and all those, you know, really modern games where you basically are almost the impression of being on a real golf course. It's no match for today's computers, but for the Commodore 64 was interesting. A little note on this game that I remember: this is one of the first games that actually had a protection, a physical protection for against copies. It actually had a little jumper that you would put in the data set on your computer. I believe it was the data set. I'm pretty sure. It's if I remember well, where you would plug the tape cassette. They actually give you this little jumper that you would have to plug in the back of your computer, and the game wouldn't start actually if you didn't have that plugged in. So it was a physical way of preventing copies of this game, which was quite original. One of the first games that actually employs such a mechanical, you know, physical way of preventing copies. But it was kind of easy to actually fool it. When you had Leaderboard, all you had to do, and I remember I did it so many times, I'd take simply a clothespin and a little piece of aluminum paper, and with a clothespin you just had to, I don't remember which pins there were, but you would just put, you know, the aluminum paper there, put the clothespin, and you knew that you could continue playing the game. Of course, it was a little dangerous because you could have, you know, shorted out the power or something. So it was kind of a little dangerous. But when you got a hang of it, of where to put the clothespin with a little aluminum paper on it, then you'd see that you know that it's okay, and the game would start up. So you could fool it quite easily back then. So this is Leaderboard for the Commodore 64. If you enjoy our reviews and look at games for the Commodore 64, please subscribe to our channel. You'll be informed when new videos are online. If you like emulation and real machines and old games, old consoles, this is a great channel to come by, where you'll learn more. And we're trying to put as many videos online as possible every week, so this is going to be really one of those a channel with thousands of videos eventually, which are going to be quite cool. And if you have any comments, questions on what you're seeing, maybe you played this game when you were young and it gives you some fun, you know, cool memories, let us know. Well, and give us your little story. And take a look at the other videos we have. We have many little videos of real machines like the Amiga 500, the Atari ST. We have emulation stuff. Like this is Commodore 64 emulator, which is Vice 64, and it's available. This is the Windows 7 version, and it's available also for Mac OS. And so you can enjoy all of these great games on your computer if you remember and want to play an old Commodore game. So thanks for watching, and I hope you come back to the Old Computer Museum channel. Bye-bye.